Who do you think's going to lead the NFL in TD catches? Since you've done it before, you get to go.
Okay. So an unwise man once said on this set that a man is only as faithful as his options. And I have not been outside of the NFL for too long.
Okay.
And I'm still faithful to the Seattle Seahawks, and I'm still faithful to Tyler Lockett. So I'm going to say Tyler Lockett is going to lead the league in NFL touchdowns this year.
Do you believe that, or are you just saying it because it's your friend?
No,
I will respect it.
No,
I wanted Dak to say things for his friend.
No. I actually believe that. I think that Tyler Lockett right now, in the way that the Seahawks are built, I think he has an opportunity to surprise a lot of people. Not surprise me, but surprise a lot of people and lead the league in touchdown.
Here's the thing. Anybody who's been paying attention knows that he was the big play threat on the team. He was the guy, especially in the second play.
He's
type
probably
things. Once getting
one of the
outside,
fastest people in the NFL.
Absolutely. Russell Wilson getting outside the pocket, getting downfield to Tyler Lockett. So I'm not doubting that at all. But I'm going to go with Zach Ertz, and here's why. The difference between Zach Ertz when Carson Wentz is on the field and when he's not is huge, right? He was on an historic run very early to crush the tight end receiving record. And then once Nick Foles became the quarterback, there was a little more focus on Alshon Jeffrey and him getting the ball. But Zach Ertz is the premier pass-catching tight end in this league, and that's even including Travis Kelce. He's the guy who in the red zone creates mismatches. The reason, he scores the big touchdown to beat the New England Patriots in a one-on-one matchup with, I believe it was either Malcolm Jenkins or Rodney McLeod, who are very good cover safeties. And Carson Wentz becoming acclimated to this, getting back into the fold, coming off of the injury, not finishing the season, now having Deshaun Jackson on the outside, across from Alshon Jeffrey, there is no doubling Zach Ertz because you have somebody who can take the top off, and then you have a legit number one receiver on the outside. Zach Ertz is going to get his pick of safeties, get his picks of linebackers, and Carson Wentz coming back, that's going to be a security blanket. I expect him to be the huge red zone threat, also the guy that Carson Wentz looks to and will probably lead this team in receptions again.
It's a good pick. I'm actually going with Odell Beckham Jr. I don't think people understand how good he is. The only reason he only looks as good as Antonio Brown or Julio Jones is because he has the worst quarterback in the NFL throwing him the ball. I love Eli Manning. If I see Eli at a bar, he ain't paying for drinks. He brought my beloved New York Football Giants 2 Super Bowl championships with the most clutch plays of all time. But once you stink, you stink. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I was holding out, no, Eli's good. He just needs a better offensive line. No. And his name is Graham Barfield, I believe, who writes for the NFL, has this whole thing on Odell's fantasy upside, fantasy football upside. Understand, when you look down the line, what the QBR was for Eli throwing to anyone other than Odell versus Odell. When you look at how many times Eli threw what was called a catchable ball to Odell, particularly deep, it's like never. And yet Odell Beckham Jr., since he came in the league, is second among all receivers in touchdown catches per game. Second, with a guy who can't get him the ball behind a line that can't protect or buy him any time. And until Saquon got there, zero running game. And he's second. You know why? He's better than everybody else. And now he's in his physical prime. I know Njoku's going to catch the ball. I know, obviously, Jarvis Landry, Nick Chubb's going to run some in, and then later Kareem Hunt. I know you figure, well, they spread it around. Odell is that dude. This offense is going to be high-flying, and Baker Mayfield, quiet as kept, is one of the most accurate quarterbacks down the field in the NFL. Odell is about to set the world on fire this season. He's going to lead the league in touchdowns.
And I hope he does, because I really want to see the Cleveland Browns come out of this hole that they've been in for a long time. But the first year that Odell is in Cleveland with a new quarterback, I don't see it happening. I just don't see it happening. Good argument. I just don't see it happening.
First of all, it was a great argument. And you know how I feel about Odell. We have this conversation all the time. I think dude is different, right? I believe if you take Odell and you give him enough time at anything, he could be very good at it. Mm-hmm. I do believe the points you made about the Jarvis Landrys and the Njokus and the Nick Chubb and having to spread the ball around a little bit, I believe that's going to take away a little bit from what Odell Beckham Jr. is able to produce from a touchdown standpoint. Right. I believe he still gets catches. I believe he still gets explosive plays. The other part of it is, too, even with all those dudes, because we know 13 is so special, who we doubling, right? When I'm in cover 3.
They're doubling someone on that team?
13, you got to. You have to.
Well, I mean,
If I'm the safety in the middle of the field and we're in cover 3, which way I'm leaning?
Actually, if my strategy against them is let Odell beat us. Like, let him one man try to beat us because there are so many guys to stop.
It's not basketball, right? And you have to start to believe you have better matchups elsewhere. Now, you can go with that if you have Stephon Gilmore, right? And you say, Stephon Gilmore, we know you may give up 3 or 4 catches, but we're okay with that.
You do as good a job as possible.
But if you go back to the first game of the season last year with Jalen Ramsey, who I love, I think he is a special talent at cornerback.
I think the Jags are going to be good this year.
Odell Beckham Jr. was open the whole game.
But that's the point. Odell Beckham Jr., in terms of yards of separation, is always the most open guy in the NFL. Like, the fact that Eli couldn't get him the ball, couldn't throw him a catchable ball, masked that. But the dude is always, he's open right now somewhere. He's always open. If he's on the football field, he's open. And they bracket him and they do all kinds of stuff. And he still gets something like, I think the number was 3+ yards of separation, like, per play. And they can't. But Baker Mayfield was doing okay, even when Hugh Jackson, no one was open. Right? Like, he had to throw into nothing but tight windows and was still getting it in there. But once Kitchens came in and everyone was, now it's something different. So now you have an accurate quarterback with a guy who can scheme up open receivers and a receiver who's always open and catches more touchdowns than just about anyone in the league in spite of not having any of that stuff.
How much does a year of chemistry matter?
It matters.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we're missing is that it matters. And so, yes, I agree with you. I think you put all these puzzle pieces together. I think you have a positive outcome. But I don't see it happening this year. I think it's got to take 1 year. To your point, he's got to build that chemistry with the quarterback.
Thank you so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus.